I'm going to give my perspective while you ponder. So for me, I did not like wearing a uniform. I've grown up wearing uniforms in different contexts, different places, from school to work. And I knew that my feelings about it, like, I couldn't be the only one. So I asked a bunch of other women about their feelings about uniforms and how it affected their expression and their identity. And so, like, knowing that women have different problems in the workplace, I wanted to use this project to celebrate women in the workplace. So the main concept that I looked to in this project is the idea that constrictions create the need for expression and empowerment. This idea is backed by a psychology research project in reference to learning. And this idea comes to life. So in my project, this idea of the constriction is the lack of ability to share their identity, aesthetic, or personality in the workplace. And then they created the desire to express themselves through fashion and typically on a uniform or economic revenue. In the book, The Art of Self-Invention, Image and Identity and Pop Culture, there's a section about kind of this idea. Specifically in the quote, the suit depersonalizes the wearer, meaning kind of that corporate, working outfit, it depersonalizes you. And then that kind of created for individuals to construct their fashion themselves. That idea of individuals to construct their fashion themselves is this idea of self-fashioning, which is referenced in the book and which I heavily employ in the different works that I create. So now I'm going to jump specifically to artistic references in my pieces. And so for my thesis, I primarily focus on feminist artists and feminist art history movement, and more specifically, the pattern and decoration movement. The pattern and decoration movement can be defined as a movement where artists created works that include various patterns, colors, to emphasize the decorative arts and traditional craft, which have been seen as inferior to the typical fine art as before. Work from this movement you notice due to the varied colors, to the patchwork, motif, fabric, textiles, and the incorporation of different cultural designs and arts. One artist that I looked at is Joyce Cosmo. In her work called Interior Decorated, she incorporates these ideas of various colors. You can see different cultural motifs through the tile work that she references in pieces. But overall, she kind of uses this idea that I end up using called personal anthology, which she shared in a personal collection of patterns and elements she collected during her life and things that she had been inspired by. This idea of personal anthology I employ in a lot of my work throughout the hour. She also shared the quote, "Decoration humanizes our living and working faith." Looking at this quote, I was inspired by this concept of decoration in both life and work. In my work, I transform the uniform to refashion or humanize the wearer, much like she humanizes the space from before. The main artist I look to in my thesis is Miriam Shapiro. She is referenced as a very well-known feminist artist, but more specifically, in the context, she is known as the leading artist of pattern decoration. The themes of her work inspired me a lot and kind of shaped the project where it is today. I'm going to talk about 3 different ideas that come from her work that I also use. The first idea is the use of textile and patternization. She used textile, found fabric specifically in a lot of her painted and collage work. She uses this idea of patternization of repeating the same fabric, maybe not always the same shape, but she uses the same patterns as for the same fabric. And you can see in the piece called Personal Appearance, she uses the repeated elements of the fabric across the work. She creates it in an expressive way and uses a makeup fabric and mixed media to create a collage. She also makes use of clothing in some of her work, and she sweeps with many colors and colored rooms. She uses an apron, and in this instance, she's using that to symbolize the woman labor so like a homemaker or motherly, like task that she proposed to do. And she, used a different clothing element in a collage manner on her artwork. And then for me, I use uniforms, which is a little bit different because it's not alluding to the home, it's alluding to the corporate setting. But alas, people use working garments. And then this idea of collaboration was something I found really interesting that I haven't seen in a lot of other artists. And I kind of use this in a similar but also a little bit of a different way. Miriam Shapiro, she uses inspiration from other artists and uses some of the other artists' work in her own work to express themes of femininity. She uses kind of very like floral ideas in this piece specifically, where she's referencing Mary Cassatt, which she is another artist which she knows a lot about. She uses a picture of Mary Cassatt's mother that Mary Cassatt painted, but made a creation of it into this work to emphasize the idea of like motherhood and her ideas of femininity, which she connected to. And so now I want to talk about the term femage. I used that in my title, if you saw on the title slide. But from hearing that word, it might be a little bit confusing, but this idea of femage it's called feminist collage. But to define it more specifically, femage or feminist collage was a term coined by Shapiro and other artists, the other artist being Melissa Meyer, in the publication of Heresy's Score of Waste Not Want Not. And this idea is women using traditional art craft techniques to create artwork that celebrates femininity, individuality, the collective, and diversity. And so in that article, there's like 14 statements. These statements heavily influenced every piece in my body of refashioning the working woman. And from these terms, each one connect to a piece of artwork. Some of them it's multiple that connect to my artwork, but each term has some type of connection with my artwork. And so with that, I would like to walk into the gallery now. I'm going to allow you guys to bring your chair because we might be in there for a while. But once everyone's settled, I will read the 14 terms surrounded by my artwork so you can kind of get a feel of some of those themes and kind of maybe see them with your own eyes. And then I will open up for Q&A after I read these terms. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to read the 14 terms of femage, and feel free as I read to look at the piece of artwork. If you want to get up and walk around, you're more than welcome to as well. Number 1, it is a work by a woman. Number 2, the activities of saving and collecting are used. Number 3, scraps are essential to the process and are recycled in the work. Number 4, the theme of a woman life context is used. 5, the work has elements of covert imagery. 6, the themes of the work address itself to an audience of intimates. 7, it celebrates a private or public event. 8, a diarist's point of view is reflected in the work. 9, there's a drawing and or handwriting sewn into the work. 10, it contains silhouette images which are fixed on other materials. 11, recognizable images appear in narrative sequence. 12, abstract forms create a pattern. 13, the work contains photographs or other printed matter. 14, the work has functional as well as aesthetic length. Thank you guys so much, and now I will open it up for Q&A.